Hello, today we're going to be going over some limits and particularly limits to infinity. So we're just going to go through a set of questions and we'll go from there. So this is our first question where we have to uh, sketch a graph that meets these conditions listed. So f of 0 equals 1, f of negative 1 equals 0, the limit as x approaches negative 2 from the right equals negative infinity. The limit as x approaches negative 2 from the left equals infinity. The limit as x approaches infinity equals 2. And the limit as x approaches negative infinity is 0. So first what we can do is we can go through our conditions and see what we can plot. So we can start out with these two right here. So all we would have to do is plot these points. So our points would be f of 0 equals 1. So that means when x is 0, y equals 1. So that would be right here. And f of negative 1 equals 0. So when x is negative 1, y is 0. Next, we can find our horizontal asymptotes, or our limits, as x approach infinity and negative infinity. So as x approaches infinity, we're going to get closer and closer to 2. So as x keeps increasing, we're going to get closer and closer to 2. So towards the end of the graph, we're going to have a point that is closer and closer to 2. And for when our limit as x approaches negative infinity, we're going to get closer and closer to 0. So that's how this would look. So our end state would be, as x approaches infinity, would be 2, and as x approaches negative infinity would be 0. Alright, so all we have left is this right here. We have the limit as x approaches negative 2 from the right equals negative infinity. So these plus and minuses, so the plus means that we're approaching negative 2 from the positive side, or the right side. And when we're saying x approaches negative 2 from the minus, this right here, that means we're approaching it from the negative side, or the left side. Alright, so let's see what that means. So when we approach negative 2 from the right side, it's going to approach negative infinity. So we're going to get closer, and here, let's delete this first. We're going to get closer to negative infinity. And when we approach negative 2 from the left side, or the negative sign, or the negative side, we're going to get closer to positive infinity. So now that we've met all our conditions, we just have to sketch our graph. So first what we can do is we can label our vertical and horizontal asymptotes. So we'll have a horizontal asymptote right here, because x is approaching, or as x approaches infinity, we're going to get closer to 2, and we're also going to have a horizontal asymptote right here, because as x approaches negative infinity, we're going to get closer to 0. So those are going to be our horizontal asymptotes. And our vertical asymptote, we just have one, and that's for x equals negative 2. So now what we just have to do is we just have to connect this. So we have this asymptote right here, and this asymptote right there, and we have these 2 points. So our simplest curve would just go through these 2 points and come down here. Okay, and then for our other curve, we have, it has to go through this vertical asymptote and it has to connect. That will meet this vertical asymptote and this horizontal asymptote. So our simplest curve will be like this. And so this is what our graph would look like if we have these conditions. Okay, so thank you for watching.